Hello, and welcome to a new episode of It Sure Is a Podcast. Today's a very, 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 very special day, because I'm recording way before I'm supposed to, and also, I am recording drunk. This is number 3. And I wanted to do this, but you have one of those work weeks when you're just, you need to go a little crazy, you need to go a little wild. Oh, hold on, before we start, I need to grab something here. Put it up. Oh, all right. This is the official first podcast where I will be recording in a man bun. Apparently that's a part of my life now. I have that ability to do that. And I just hopped out of the bath/shower, and I am here, and I am ready. Ready for this absolute experience we're about to have together. Because, I'll be honest, it's not only a few beers in, I am also one of those THC gummies in too. So let me give some context. When I was destroyed with that toothache, and all the pains that come with that, PBR. Some people say that light beer is going to be the water in heaven, and PBR will be the toilet water, and that's fine. I'll be drinking it. So as I was saying, those gummies have depending how you look at things, what your perspective is, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. It's just that during that time when I had the toothache, I was suggested to get the THC gummies. To simplify it, they're weed gummies. And out of everything I took, those were the one things that consistently worked better than all those different medications and antibiotics and the ibuprofens and the Advils and the Tylenols. So take that with whatever grain of salt you wish. Speaking of grains of salt, and I will get back to my direction I was taking this, I treated myself today very much so. Earlier, I got out of work early, but work was still crazy. I went to the gym. After the gym, I treated myself to a pretzel crust pizza from Little Caesars. Once I got home, I popped in one of the gummies, drank half a beer, and I tended to the puppies and the other dogs in my house. Halfway through finishing that, everything started to kick in, so that was the time to consume the pretzel crust pizza. And let me tell you, it is amazing. Every time I take a bite, I hear the opening to Evangelion, and the clouds open up. And I think it's because I'm under some influences of some things. But with that being said, it was still a delight. I've had it sober, so it's a delight then. This sends it to another level. And the angels from Evangelion cry out as the theme plays every bite you take. And it's an absolute delight. So I did that, and I was looking at things I wanted to do, because I kind of occasionally keep lists on my phone of things I want to get done at certain times this week, and the best time to record an episode of the podcast is right now. So I'm looking at my situation, I'm like, hey, this could be fun. No way this could blow up in my face. Not at all. And honestly, whenever I edit this, I'm going to really just hate myself, but, I mean, that's the price we pay. So, man, with that being explained, why I had the gummies, right? And then I still had a few extra. I was like, okay. So I'm going to take one, drink a little bit. I ate the pizza. then what's next, right? I was thinking about doing the podcast, but I'm like, I need to take a shower. I'm gross. I'm stinky. I went to the gym. I sweated. So I decide to take a bubble bath. Yes, I'm a grown man in his late 20s who takes bubble baths. They are soothing to the mind and spirit, and I do not care what you say. With that being said, it was lavender scented, with a hint of jasmine. Yes, the fancy stuff. What I usually do is I actually shower and completely clean myself beforehand because I'm about the size of the, Chris Farley Beverly Hills Ninja with a man bun, so I'm kind of looking like a fat Sekiro, and me fitting in a tub doesn't always work also because of my height. So I clean myself off first, totally shower, and then I just put the plug in, and then I just sit down and let the bubbles rise, right? And now this is the part where, everything's starting to meld together, mix together, kick in. It's an absolute I'm at peace. I'm feeling fine. I close my eyes. I have an audiobook on. It's over in the corner, so it's like I'm not splashing it. Maybe I lit a few candles. Maybe I dimmed the lights, real romantic stuff. And when I did that, the bubbles are around me, okay? I sit there, I enjoy the scents, I enjoy the fragrance, and I notice something. Well, whenever you take a bath, it is most common that you are naked. You are a naked individual in said bathtub. And when I was a naked individual in said bathtub, obviously, since I am male, I have the male genitalia. So I look down, and I see that the perfect bubble has formed itself around the head of my wiener. So, it honestly, when peering upon this, I looked at it and I was like, that's a spaceman. And if you know anything about me, is that I have this very strange, I guess, catalog in my brain where I can definitely remember a lot of stuff. I can remember music from video games, like they etch themselves in my brain. But if you're to ask me, hey, Brandon, did you get that document written up? Hey, Brandon, did you remember it's your mother's birthday? I will not remember. But I will remember the soundtrack to Outer Wilds while I sit here and stare at this. So I start to giggle, but I'm not to move too much because, movement will pop the bubble, and the spaceman will not have air in space. So I'm sitting there, and I'm processing this, and I guess the best thing I can really describe this as is with this little audio clip that I'll put in right here.
I do think the universe is infinite, but of course I can't prove it. So far, the universe has allowed us to see 13.7 billion light years in every direction, and we can only guess what's beyond that. So, on the other hand, it's a pretty good guess that we're not so special that we're at the center. So, if the universe is not infinite, it's extremely, extremely, extremely large. That's a pretty good guess. Now, you're asking also, does it stop at a certain point? Probably not, but we don't know. We certainly cannot measure any place where it stops. We imagine that if we were standing at a place 13 billion light years, say, directly north of us, and we were on another galaxy over there, we would look around and we would see a universe that looks a lot like what Earthbound astronomers are seeing today. So they would probably be asking the same question over there today. They would probably come to the same conclusion. That their universe also looks extremely large and almost infinite, but they would not be able to prove it. So that's part of the answer to your question. You also wanted to know what made this happen. Do I think that a God made this, or God made this? The short version of the answer is yes, I'm an astrophysicist and I measure things. And I'm not able to answer the question of what came before that or why did it happen. The physicists cannot tell you what came before the universe. It's not a meaningful question for us yet. So maybe it will be someday, but so far we just talk about process, how material turns into different forms of material, and how changes happen through history. I think it's a wonderful story and very exciting, and I'm really pleased to be a part of discovering that story.
So it felt like hours when my brain was processing this, and it was a combination of Interstellar, Outer Wilds, and I'm just staring here at this with the bubble just around the head of my wiener. And oops, I broke something. Ah! A bubble around the head of the wiener. And it was just, I don't know why, it was just, I was so mesmerized by this concept. And I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just sit here for hours? Because this happens with THC, and if you are known in the world of marijuana, the time moves differently. You perceive time differently. And I thought I was there for about an hour laughing at this little incident. And it comes to find out, no, I was sitting there for about 4 minutes. Because I could see the clock sitting over on this sink of the bath in the bathroom. And I could see it sitting there. And it really only about 4 minutes had passed. And I was just like, So I decided it's a perfect topic to come onto the podcast with. It was a delightful topic that everyone wanted to hear about, the little spaceman in the bathtub. And as of recording, as I'm looking at the time here, it is early evening, around 7 p.m., and I had just completed my 15th bowel movement of the day. Today's been a very strange day. I don't know why, and I don't want to know why. Well, I kind of want to know why. Because I have had 15. Like, the first 3 are normal in the morning, and then I got to 5 before I left the house. And then throughout the day, there were more, and I was like, okay, I've been pooping a lot. I'm going to keep track. 15's the number. I don't know what's happening to my body right now. I took my medicine a little later. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if my medicine actually clogs me. But it was a very real thing that happened to me. 15. I'm a little shocked. I don't think there's anything left in my body except the food I'm digesting right now. So we could hit 20 before the end of the night. Because the game plan is, after this, I'm going to go play Monster Hunter with my friends. Spoilers, Monster Hunter is still fantastic. It's still great. It's very fun with friends. It's a good time. You all have a good laugh. It's really quite excellent. Quite excellent indeed. Oh, my phone buzzed. Thought I turned that off. That's disappointing. Today, I had a very interesting situation. I don't know. Gosh, I don't know if we're going to talk about video games today. I'm sorry, I haven't been playing much because I've been working. Monster Hunter is the only thing, and I talked about it last time, unless you want to talk more about Monster Hunter. But I deleted all my messages today, and this was kind of the sign that I'm a true introvert through and through. I looked at how many messages I had, and I had 178 different ongoing conversations. The funny thing is, I don't believe I know 178 people, but a collection of those were group texts, which I absolutely hate. I hate the group text. The group text is just a way to ruin my life. That's what they made it for. They ruined my life with this, because I'm okay with you sending the blanket out information, but then some people begin to talk, and they start talking, and they have whole discussions, and I'm not a part of it because I'm a working boy, and I might be working, and my phone keeps buzzing, and I'm thinking, oh, is it work-related? And it's 2 people either setting up plans, or 2 people talking about if Digimon have genders. Which I don't believe they do. I think they're just kind of what they are. They can be whatever they want to be. With that being said, I don't like them. I don't like group texts. So I deleted them. And I looked at my phone, and it said a very, very magical sentence. A sentence that I had not seen before. And even now, this sentence is gone because some people have texted me about getting together in a few weeks on the 17th. It said, "You have no messages." And there was a level of relief, a level of nirvana that washed over me. And I was like, this is the way it should be. And that's when I realized I am a true introvert. I do like to, converse with people, but I also want my own time. I don't want you bugging me and getting up my butt about things. If I lost a few pounds, I'd probably look hot in this man bun. But group texts are bad, and everyone who likes group texts are bad people. That is the long and short of it. I have simplified it for you. So if you're on SparkNotes collecting these notes, there's your summary. That group texts are bad, no messages are good, and the Little Caesars pretzel crust pizza is just a divine, tasty nougat of love and joy and peace. Forever and always. I may have been born stupid, but I will not die hungry. A part of me is feeling real bad for myself like tomorrow because I'm going to have to put this together. It's going to be an absolute mess. But I don't know if you heard about this, but PlayStation 3, PSP, and PS Vita, all those services where you could download games off of the PlayStation Store, but I think it's the PlayStation Network, technically, because they had a different name, that is going down like in August at some point. I don't have exact dates because I'm drunk. And you have a phone or a computer, you live in the digital age, go look it up, you bitch. I don't know what to tell you. But they are actually shutting that down, and a lot of games are going to disappear. The only way that you were able to play them, especially Japanese titles that were imported, was through that. So when they shut it down, you'll no longer have access to those titles. Nintendo has done this in the past with the Wii console, and I guess I would say that a good video to kind of categorize and catalog all the Wii games that we lost in the Great Purge would be Scott the Waz's video of the WiiWare Chronicles, right? Because a lot of the virtual games that were on the Wii have found their way into our current gaming switches, handhelds, video games forever, but not all of them. The WiiWare, we lost some in the WiiWare. I definitely remember My Life as King, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and My Life as Dark Lord. Those are two we lost to WiiWare. That is just an example. But this topic kind of comes up and makes me feel very, very sad because I don't think game developers remotely give a crap about preserving their legacy. So what do you mean by that, Brandon? I'm so glad you asked. What I mean by that is what's happening now in the gaming market is that we are transitioning and more focused on immediate trends, and when the trend will not make money, we move on and we discard whatever was there. Right? I remember a time when video games for a console would be spaced out, and you would get releases, like a few releases a month, and it was at a steady pace. But now, in this current day and age, we get releases daily. We get releases of games that we're kind of obese with all these games that we get. But also, we're so quick to, get rid of games because, they're not trending anymore. All those old PlayStation games aren't trending. Some of the All right. Can we get onto the PS Vita? The PS Vita had to exist. The PS Vita had to walk so the Nintendo Switch could run. And if you disagree with that, objectively, you're wrong. I respect your opinion, but objectively, you're wrong. The PS Vita had so many downloadable titles. You could play old PlayStation 1 games on it. They ran beautifully. You could even play some PlayStation 2 games on it. They fit all of Borderlands 2 on there with 2 DLC packs. They didn't add any more because Randy Pitchford's a slimy asshole. But besides that, Borderlands 2 was running on the PS Vita. And now Borderlands 2 is on the Switch. So, some of my greatest gaming memories, where I experienced Undertale for the first time, where I experienced Titan Souls for the first time, was all on the PS Vita. And it was so good. It was so good. But now PlayStation shutting down that store. So what's going to happen is the price of those games that are on there, that you can get physical copies, but it's a little difficult and a little pricey. Those prices are going to skyrocket. But I guess the discussion I'm trying to have is, there's no interest in preserving your legacy. There's no interest in having a source where you can play those older games, right? I don't know why I don't know why PlayStation just doesn't, get a server out in Abu Dhabi, you slap it there in the middle of a building, and you put all those old games on there for download. Download those games. If you want to charge the butt out, you're charging almost full price for half these games, and they're over 3 decades old, whatever. That's fine. You need to preserve games. You know why? I'll tell you why. We have to preserve games because human beings, the thing that we are so eager to protect but also kill and destroy because that's what humans are and is and always will be, human beings put a piece of their soul into that. Human beings decided that I want to make something. I want to create something. And I'm not okay with that just being thrown away. That would be like taking any of the art in a very fancy art museum. And, we preserve that because someone made it. We're not throwing that out because it's not trendy anymore. Probably we do, and I just don't know about it. But it's the same thing, but video games just have this stigma of, it's just a activity for neckbeards and virgins. And you might be 100% correct, but also it's something that someone put their soul into. Someone put a piece of themselves into that. Whenever I pick up, let me see, what game do I have sitting here? Kirby Planet Robobot, which if you haven't played this game for the Nintendo 3DS, I highly recommend it. Sakurai was making this game and he was watching Gurren Lagann while he made it, and he was like, well, shit, that's some good shit. And he just made Gurren Lagann and Kirby. So what I'm holding in my hand is the soul and the essence of a collective of creative people. And I look at the back box art, and someone had to make this box art. Someone had to put their creativity into the box and had put picture Kirby waving at me in the corner. Hi, Kirby. Wave it in the corner. And it says the robots have invaded and only Kirby can stop them. And all of the features the game has. And someone had to do that. Someone had to put their soul into that. Let me pick up another game off of my shelf. Hold on. The box set of Crystal Crisis by Nicalis, who is actually kind of a garbage developer, producer, whatever you want to call it, because they don't do things fairly. But people put their heart and soul into this game and created something. You might not like it. It might not be art to you, but it's art to someone. The box art's pretty dope. I would put that on a poster and slap it on top of the Mona Lisa. And when some art guy was like, that's not art, I'm like, sir, listen here. That's art. I guess art's all in the perspective, but it's just someone put their heart and soul into that. And we protect all this other art. We, go on big quests like Indiana Jones does. We go on big quests to save relics and put them in a museum. Why not this? Why don't we have a source that just begs people to save games on there so everyone else can experience it? I mean, this is why I think they're called dumpers. So people will take games and pretty much they will dump them onto the internet, extract everything from the game and put it on there. I think that's why people like that exist. Because we need that resource. We need those games to be preserved. And I think this is a discussion that can tie to the entire human race. We always try to preserve our history, and when we don't, we freak out about it, so we make points to do so. And I think someone once said, I think it was either Reggie Fils-Aimé or Morgan Freeman said, if we do not learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. Well, we're going to keep getting shitty games if we don't remember what bad games are because we keep getting rid of them. But also there's older games that are really good. I don't know. It's kind of a downer topic that I think studios just really need to preserve games a whole lot better than they are. Because PlayStation that's not trending right now. We have the PS5 with The Last of Us 2 and the really enhanced peen shaders. And now what? We don't have anything anymore. Because we don't have our older stuff, because we're all focused on this new gamer girl stuff. And I apologize if you heard the furnace kick on, because apparently out where I live, it was spring, 50, in between the degrees of 50 and 70, and I just decided to snow. Just to start snowing. So the furnace is kicking on. So I apologize. Let me stumble over there and slam that door shut. Man. Get around. I record something, put my heart and soul into it, and technology is a computer problem. Bitch. But PlayStation's more focused on the new revenue they can make and not preserving the old stuff. I think there's going to be a time where we're gonna forget all the older stuff that was made, and like Dark Souls will be the equivalent of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And maybe that's just the way things are supposed to go. But I hope, if anything, I was able to point out that soon the PlayStation store, the PlayStation store, the PSP store, the PS Vita store will be closing. So if you have any interest in saving some games and preserving a little bit of history for yourself, I recommend you do that before August. August's going to get here sooner than later. So, Outriders came out. That's a video game that came out. I'm going to scroll over to Steam Review and see what we got for Steam reviews. I haven't purchased it yet because I'm balls deep in Monster Hunter right now. And I kind of want to just really enjoy that because, it'll be there. It'll be there. Whatever it's called. What was it? Outriders. Outriders. All right, here we go. Yes, I'm old enough. I'm old as shit. Damn. All right. So as of now, all reviews are mixed. 7,019 people. So, okay. Let's see some bad ones. Because a lot of people. All right, remember the episode where I talked about the demo? I didn't know why everyone, hated it. This person really spells it out right here. Get the demo, play the demo. If you like the demo, buy the game, which is why the demo's out. Okay, so let's see. There's a lot of okay. So it looks like a lot of the complaints right now. We got some recommended. We got some not because the game has an online component and apparently it has to be put online all the time. Wow. Oh, I need some better liquid brain juice. Apparently, all these recommended things are that the online connection and everything related to that are really, really bad. So, even these people are like, okay, the game's fine, but I can't play it because internet. And why does everyone want to be online all the time? Right? Why does everyone want to do that? I don't get that. So Outriders is online, but you can play it single player. Weird. Oh, that's very strange. Because you can play it single player, so why would it need to be online? And that's another thing I kind of noticed, and I didn't really notice it about the demo until after I record the episode. I did research, like, oh, it has to be always online. Why do games do that? Because yesterday it was yesterday. I didn't have my internets for about 4 hours, so I couldn't do any work from home. But I couldn't play any online games, but that's fine. You know why? Because your friend Brandon here is a big dick swinger and I have single player games. So I started playing one that is absolutely excellent, but I don't even want to talk about it until I beat it. Because I really think that it just needs to be one of those things that you experience completely blind. Because I just know of its existence, and now that I'm playing it and experiencing it pretty much blind, I think it's worth it. Ooh, College Kings Act 1. Oh. Oh, it's a naked game. Boobies. Boobies. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I can't. Steam, go away. Steam, I'm vulnerable. Leave me alone. But yeah, why does it have to be online? Is there a reason? There should be an online mode and an offline mode. So you can choose. Right? Hey, that's what Monster Hunter does. Monster Hunter is great. You can play offline, you can play online. I mean, it makes sense for a Switch, but I think the consoles that everyone's thinking that people are going to play on, which is the PS4, Xbone, or the PC, I mean, pretty much those consoles are always online. It's rare when they're not. But still, there should be an option. Are you getting some data from us? Are you harvesting Bitcoin? Huh? You getting that Bitcoin for all your friends? You getting Bitcoin so you can get monies? Well, I'm glad everyone is here for this podcast because oh wow. Oh my. I just changed the screen on this game and there was someone doing the dirty for that College Kings game. Yeah, why always online? I don't understand it. I'm all for like those online games where it's like Apex Legends, Fortnite, what other games always online? I'm gonna look at my list. Team Fortress 2, Overwatch. Those make sense because they're multiplayer centric games, and the best way to play multiplayer now is to do it online. But like, why? Why is Outriders? Why is it like that? I don't know. But Outriders is getting very mixed reception. I'm hopeful that it can come out of the slump because I really liked it. And at some point I will purchase it, but right now it's Monster Hunter time. As in, like, yeah, we're playing Monster Hunter, but also I'm going to go play Monster Hunter with my friends. Podcast would be a little shorter, but it's been recorded, all is well. So I hope you enjoyed this little insight to Brandon. Everyone stay safe. make good choices. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next episode.